Kev weather overview. How's it going? Well, it's a carbon copy of last week as far as I'm concerned with respect to our weather pattern for this upcoming week. 4 days of high levels of heat and humidity, followed by a cooling trend for the weekend. And that's exactly what we have. Well above normal temperatures for this time of year. I know it's still summer, but we are 10 to 15 degrees above normal. We're going to be flirting with 90 basically every day through Thursday before some relief sets in for Friday and the weekend. So, yeah, that's the overall scenario. Not a lot of rain to speak of until we get to Thursday. And then we'll have to see about late in the weekend where more rain could move in for Sunday into Sunday night. And in the back of my mind is the tropics. So we have a lot to get to. And so let's get right down to it. This is Noah. Like them on Facebook and Twitter. Now, for the rain chances, I think we'll have to wait till Thursday afternoon, Thursday night. So here's the weather map for Thursday morning, courtesy of Tropical Tidbits. And we notice that showers and thunderstorms start to build up with this frontal boundary in the afternoon and evening. And I think as the front settles to our south, there might be some leftover showers for even Friday morning, particularly towards the coast. And then much of Friday is okay, along with Saturday, but then clouds lower and thicken, and we watch another storm system move in for Sunday, and this could bring periods of light to moderate rain. It looks like the bulk of the rain moves over New England. So if the GFS is right here, that's exactly what's going to happen. We're going to get light to moderate rain, and New England will get heavier amounts of rain with that particular system. Now the humidity values this week are going to be quite high. So we look at the dew point temperature as well as the air temperature to try to figure out how oppressive it's going to be. And if you were following the weather last week, you'll know that the dew point temperature was in the 70s, while the actual air temperature was near 90 or even above 90 degrees in some scenarios, especially for the urban locations. Well, that's exactly what we have this week. So if we look at just the dew point temperature alone, it's very oppressive. Stays in the 70s through much of the week. And then finally we get some relief. This is by Friday morning. And that's in combination with that front that's coming from the north. So just in the nick of time with that front, and it brings our humidity levels down, and it also brings our temperatures down to more normal levels. Now the tropics are heating up, ladies and gentlemen. If you've been watching this video, it's no surprise. This is the peak of the hurricane season, number one, and number two, this was well telegraphed by the long-range forecasters and by the overall numerical weather model. So indeed, we have a tropical storm off the Florida coast. That's headed for the central Gulf Coast. That'll bring mostly heavy rain to the region. And then way out in the Atlantic, we have Tropical Storm Florence. Now, Tropical Storm Florence is going to have to decide which way it wants to go. And when we look at the European model, this is for Monday, September 10th. And off to your right is the aforementioned storm. And it most likely would be a hurricane at this point. Now, as we go later in time, the predictability of the forecast becomes more problematic, obviously. So now we're 8 or 9 days into the future, and we see that the hurricane is making a turn, but there's two ways it could go. It could go off the east coast, or it could come a little bit further to the west, if it misses the connection with the jet stream by next Wednesday or Thursday. If that were to happen, we would have some impacts from Florence. I don't know whether it would be direct or whether it would be indirect with just some waves and just some rain, but it is something to keep in mind for the next 7 to 10 days. I would keep a little bit of a watch on Tropical Storm Florence, which soon will be a hurricane in the Atlantic. So weather is definitely getting more exciting over the next 2 weeks. We have a lot to monitor, and we're approaching fall slowly. So should be an interesting ride over the next couple of weeks across the tri-state area, starting with some midsummer-like heat and humidity.